through the body, through your heart, and
Mashallah. So just a quick picture. So mashallah, like the brother explained. So you start from the middle area, from your stomach. So as you're saying La, you imagine the darkness is coming, and you're letting go of it, and La ilaha, that, you know, you're sacrificing it, whatever it is, whatever darkness, whatever sin it is, and all you want and all you're going to put into your heart is illallah, except that when the light is coming down into your heart and into that area, and then the circle starts again. So that's for 20 minutes. So is that clear, or is anyone not clear about that? Because it's very, very important that we get this methodology right. Yep, so I think alhamdulillah everyone's clear on that. Okay, now there was one more, you could say, thing we had to do. One more, you could say, prayer. Does anyone know what that is? So there was a dhikr and there was one more. What was that, brother? The muraqabah. Okay, mashallah. So can any brother here now explain to me how to do the muraqabah? Yourself, brother, mashallah. Could you give us just a very, you don't have to go into too much detail, just a basic understanding so we're aware.
You cleanse your lataifs, clean the lataifs, start off from there, and then once they're all done, then you go on a spiritual journey.
So, okay, sorry, I didn't make it clear. The muraqabah, which muraqabah is it, brother? Muraqabah dua. So there's two muraqabahs you've learned, yeah?
Okay.
So one is the muraqabah dua, one was the muraqabah miraj, where you go on the spiritual journey. So do you remember the first one, the muraqabah dua?
No, brother, I actually came here on Monday, so I know I've covered it.
Okay, mashallah. Okay, so then can we have a brother who can help this brother out how to, mashallah. Yes. Just 1 second, just wait for the mic, inshallah. Yeah, no, that's fine, inshallah, whatever you know.
So you start with the 3 keys.
Okay, mashallah. Do you remember what them 3 keys are?
Allah is with you, Allah sees you, Allah hears you.
Okay, mashallah.
Start with 3 keys, and then is it the protection amals?
Okay, yeah, before that, what do you want to do?
Before that, you want to... It's gone, you know.
Come into make the intention that's for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Intention.
The right intention, yeah. So you come into the 3 keys, intention and then yeah, the protection amals.
Protection amals.
Okay.
Surah Fatiha, Ayatul Kursi, and 3 calls 3 times.
MashaAllah, okay.
Then is it the 3 states, the humility one, the shukr, and reliance?
Okay, mashallah. Okay, mashallah. So you've given quite a few answers there, mashallah. So that's good. So we've got the initial stage. So you make intention, you do it for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, you get into the presence, you connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then you do the protection amals, which is Surah Fatiha once, Ayatul Kursi, 3 calls. Then you blow this over you. And then you get into the mind state, so the right mindset. So the state of humility, then the state of shukr, and the state of reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then what do you do? What's the next step? We'll ask this question to Zoom. So what's the step after this? So we've got so we started with the intention, the presence of Allah, the protection amals, the mind state. Now what's the next step? Yeah, okay, mashallah, okay. But just before that bit, I think one of the people, someone said at the starting amal, so mashallah, they mentioned Bismillah, Istighfar 3 times. Okay, then so what's the order? Istighfar 3 times, then what's next? So after Istighfar, what's next? So you do Istighfar, Bismillah, Astaghfirullah, 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 then what's the next, because they're starting amal, mashallah, durood, yeah, mashallah, okay, so they got the right order, yeah, so Istighfar, durood, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah 3 times, okay, so you do that, and now, so then you can start by one of the Zoom participants mentioned as well, so you start by imagining the name of Allah. So someone else can finish off from here, so any brother here with the last one, have you done the muraqabah dua, yeah? You've not done the muraqabah dua? Okay, mashallah. How about yourself, brother? You've not done it neither. How about this, brother? Have you done the muraqabah dua?
I have, yeah.
So do you remember the
Up to that level, yeah, then I've just gone blank. So
you've done all the protections, you've done the starting amals, now we're actually going on to the dua itself.
So when you try and picture Allah's name.
Okay, mashallah.
Oh yeah, the 7 major sins.
Okay, mashallah. So before we get to that bit though, so you picture Allah's name. Okay, can you explain that diagram for me that I've put on there? Can you show the diagram, please? That diagram. Could you explain that?
so
Does it recall anything to you?
Just picturing Allah's name above your head.
Okay.
And the light coming down, shining through your head into your heart.
Okay, so when it gets to your head, is there anything you do, anything you imagine? So what do you imagine? Okay, but what's happening though? So you're saying Allah, Allah. So it's chanting Allah in the mind, and then when it comes down to your heart, then it's chanting Allah in the heart. So then after this, could you?
Then it's the 7 sins.
Okay, mashallah. Yeah. So then obviously so you imagine the name of Allah is above you, then the light's coming down into your mind. Say Allah, Allah, Allah. And then that light is coming into your heart, Allah, Allah. Then your whole body is being illuminated by that light. And then you imagine that everything around you is also saying Allah, Allah, Allah. And so then you just want to be in the total presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, only connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, disconnected from everything else. Okay, and then mashallah, okay, I've gone on it there, so give it away then. So you said 7 major sins. Yeah, so she'll get Zoom participants inshallah to list the muraqabah. So we've got the 7 major sins, then what do you think of after that? So you can just list them inshallah. Also the brothers who may know can volunteer as well. Come to Zaid.
7 major blessings.
Yep, 7 major blessings, mashallah. Okay, 7 problems.
7 needs.
I know why you're smiling. Huh? You felt guilty then, didn't you? Because Brother Majid told you. But mashallah, okay, 7 needs. And then we have reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and seek guidance. So we know what we're doing here, right? So you imagine the name of Allah, that your whole body is saying Allah, you're connected now to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And now you start with 7 major sins. You're presenting them to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just in your heart, not verbally, in your heart, in your mind. And then the 7 blessings, then 7 needs, 7 problems. Then you're relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so then you're seeking guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that whatever worldly matters I've got, whatever it is, ta'ala, please guide me in this worldly matter, whatever it is, anything it can be, anything you need guidance on, you're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you're relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but the one thing I want to ask is, how do you rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So what do you do now? So you've got all the 7 major sins, you present them to Allah, the 7 blessings, you presented them to Allah, the 7 needs, the 7 problems, you're seeking guidance, you ask Allah ta'ala what you need guidance on. Now what's the final step? Does anyone know? What do you do now? So you presented all this. How do you rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now? What do you do? What do you imagine? Yes, brother, go on.
So you put in a box.
Yes, yeah. So can you explain that for us, yeah?
So you imagine you put everything you described, all 7 problems into a box, like a gift box, and then you imagine yourself giving that to Allah,
Yeah,
so that He can deal with it.
MashaAllah, yeah. And participants Zoom, MashaAllah, also mentioned a gift box. So you put all of this in a gift box, and what you're doing is you're imagining it's all going in this gift box to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But actually what you're doing is you're actually relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and imagining all of these things, all of these problems, everything, whatever it is, it's going, and now you're just leaving it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now you let go of it. You don't keep hold to it now. You let go of it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so is that clear? Is there anything which anyone didn't understand? Yeah, mashallah, also on Zoom they mentioned, you imagine is putting all of them in the gift box and submitting it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's correct, mashallah. Is anyone who isn't clear on that methodology or anything that's confusing about that?
You have to do the protection amounts for muraqabah dua.
Yeah, so like we mentioned, so the brother asked, do you have to do the protection amals with muraqabah dua? Yeah, so you start how you normally start, with the intention, the presence, protection amals, okay? Then, you get into the mindset and Bismillah, Astaghfirullah, and then Durood Sharif, La hawla wa quwwata illa billah, then you start. Okay. Okay, now you could say these are like your two, you could say, if you refer to the gym, you can go to the gym, right? You can do as much exercise as you want, you can lift as much weight as you want, but it's going to come to a point where there's a problem. Now we'll see, you brothers, mashallah, if you do go gym or not. So if you just exercise, okay, you just exercise in the gym, and you're lifting heavy weights, and you come to a plateau. Do you know what a plateau is? So basically where you can't lift any more weight. So say you've got to 30 kg, 40 kg on bench press, right? You got there and you're thinking, yeah, this is heavy, this is awesome, but now I want to go heavier than this. But you're going there every day, and you're trying to lift, you're going there thinking, right, I'm going to lift over 40 kg, I'm going to lift over. You get there, same thing again, you can only lift 40 kg at the gym. Yeah, this is what we call a plateau, where you can't go past this. Now, if you're just lifting, right, why do you think one of the reasons, you're not caring about your diet or anything, why do you think one of the reasons you're plateauing? Go on, Brother Zain, you're very eagerly looking at me there thinking, right, I know this one. You're not eating, but what's more important, so is it okay for me just to, munch a big fat cheeseburger, munch bare sugar, just fizzy drinks, and then just go back into the gym?
You've got to give your body what it needs.
You've got to give it what it needs.
Yeah.
MashaAllah. So this zikr and these two dhikrs is what your body needs. It's what, not your body, but your ruh, what your soul needs. It's the nourishment of the soul. So, so these two things are like the food. And like we know in the gym, if you just keep lifting and lifting and lifting, there's going to come to a point where you can't lift no more. So you've got to eat the right nutrition, you've got to eat the right food. And the dhikr and the muraqabah, this is your nutrition and this is your food. So likewise, if you want to stay strong, you have to eat your food and your nutrition every single day. It's same with the dhikr and muraqabah. You have to have it every single day. And the day you don't eat, how do you feel in the gym? You feel weak, you can't lift. Well, it's similar to us. When we don't do our dhikr, when we don't do our muraqabah, you see sin will become easier and trying to do good will become harder. Trying to retain what you've got will become difficult. You might not see it straight away. It's same with the gym, same thing. That you might not see the loss of strength right away, but if you continuously not eat for about a couple of weeks, you'll see the decrease slowly. And this is how it happens. You'll see yourself going more towards sin, slowly. So this is why it's very important. This is our nutrition. MashaAllah, this is a question. Does it help the outer body too? Is this referring to the dhikr? The question. Just confirm that with the. If the Zoom participant just confirm that. Is this question referring to the dhikr? Does it help the outer body too? Oh, the muraqabah. Specifically, you'd have to ask one of the main ustads, but in some way there will be some benefit there, but specifically I couldn't really say at the moment. Maybe one of the ustads, maybe they could explain much better. Okay, so now what we're going to look at is, like we mentioned, going back to the sort of gym analogy, is that there's also exercise you got to do, but now the other opposite is you can't just eat, you've got to work as well. You've got to, in the gym, you've got to work as well. If you've got to use that, whatever that food, that resource you've got to utilize it. So now you've been given three, you could say, things to do, practical actions to do. So practically now, there's things you have to do to, purify yourself and to help you reach the closeness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So can a brother list all three? Or Zoom as well, could you list all three practical things which you've been given to do? Practical, you can say amals or actions. Go on, brother. MashaAllah. MashaAllah, yep. Yep, so the brother mentioned the tongue sheet, the sincerity sheet, and the salah sheet. So that's the other three sheets you've got. So this is the practical aspect now, the work you've got to put in. This is the work you've got to put in now. So now we'll go on to the tongue sheet. Let's have a look at this. So, okay, the tongue. So, everyone can see the sheet now. So could someone here now, that, but not you though, mashallah, someone else, could we have someone explain to me how the sheet works? So how do you utilize the sheet? Go on, brother Abdul Qadir, mashallah.
If you're gonna, Bismillah. Example is like if you're gonna start on the tongue,
Okay.
you start for 30 days, you make a mistake,
Okay.
you go back
Okay.
until the 30 days are done to perfection.
Okay. You've given us a good overview. That's a very good overview, but we want more
But-
specifically how to use the sheet.
But use the tongue like refrain from lying,
Okay.
backbiting,
Okay.
cheating, using it in unlawful ways.
Okay, mashallah. No, that's correct. But now I want to know specifically how do we do it on the sheet practically? So how do we use the sheet
So
practically?
if I don't swear for a full day, I write on the sheet, I'll take it
Okay, mashallah.
for swearing. And then start on day 2, day 3, and day 4, and
Okay,
go on.
mashallah. Okay, so you mentioned that obviously if he doesn't swear or he doesn't do any of these acts, then he'll take. Okay, and what if he does do an act?
Then
So we'll ask someone else. Mashallah, jazakallah for that. Yeah. So also a question to Zoom. So the brother mentioned that with the sheet, if we could just show the sheet down here, with the sheet that if you avoid all of these sins, then you'd put a tick in each box. So if you avoid all of these sins, you'll put a tick in each box. But now if you do commit the sin, so mashallah, someone beat me to it already on Zoom, mashallah, read my mind. You start again. Okay, so now we'll just show you how it works. So tick, 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 you're doing really well, you're doing well, you know, you're doing well, and then you get into traffic, someone almost cuts you up, and you just give it on road rage. Intentionally, you just go mad. Big cross. Yeah. So what do? Does it end there? No. You start again. You might get a cross again. Yeah. So you put the rules which you violate, so you know which one it is. And then until you get the full 30 days, you know, then obviously then you don't stop ticking. So once you got the full day, then you'll go back to an ustad, and then they'll assess. Okay, do you change your sheet now? Do you not? Do you move ahead? So okay, so you try to tick for full 30 days. But like it's been mentioned as well, it's not only for 30 days. It's not only for 30 days, it's to carry on for life now. It's not that you done well for 30 days, now you change the sheet, okay, that's it, I don't need to do it anymore. No, it's to get you in the habit. Okay, mashallah. Even if it's a little mistake, you start again. So if it's a mistake made on this, can we have the sheet on again, please? If it's any of these mistakes that are made here on the disciplinary, then yes, you'll start again. So any of these, even if it's just once, you'll start again. As long as it's done intentionally, so you'll start again. So any of these here, yeah, so I hope that's answered the question. If made a mistake like swat accident, do you still cross? No, so if it's intentionally done, yeah, then you will do it. So if it's unintentionally done, then you'll carry on. So you can put a tick. So if you've intentionally put it in your mind, okay, I'm going to swear at this person, I'm going to harm them, then yeah, you'll put a cross. But if it's unintentionally done, then you'd put a tick. Because obviously you're trying to correct that. So, because you're not doing so slowly, because there's a change. The change is happening slowly, so you'd put a tick. Because it's what you're doing consciously. What about backbiting? What if it just comes out? Okay, so with backbiting, so obviously if it's like, you know, like to backbite, to get to that stage, you know, you must have thought about it. You know, because to backbite, you're going to have to think about the person. You have to, most likely, if you've gone there, you've gone for that reason. It doesn't just, you know, suddenly come out. You know, so really it's something you would put a cross for. But if it somehow, you know, in the backbiting, it's, you know, it's come out, you realise you stopped, and then, you know, it'd be a tick. But if it's, you know, but generally speaking, I think it's very hard to backbite and not know that you're doing it or intentionally do it, because, you know, you have to think about the person you're backbiting about. You've got to go to someone, but it takes a lot of stages just before you actually get there. What if someone else is talking about it and then you agree, or something slips off the tongue? Yes, because even listening to backbiting is a sin. So the fact that you're still there, yeah, obviously if you're forced to stay in that room, Okay, if you're forced to, so what if someone else is talking about it and then you agree on something, slip off the tongue? So if you're forced to stay in that room, you have to stay in that room, then it's a different scenario. But if you can leave, then it's your job then to leave. But even listening to backbiting is a sin. So then if someone slipped off the tongue, well then that's because you've listened to what the person said and then it's come out. So that would be a cross also, yes. Okay, what if they keep going on about, like, then the best thing to do in that position then is just to walk away, not to listen to it. No one can force you to listen to it. No one, like shaitan cannot force you to do a sin, a person cannot force you to listen to backbiting. If shaitan, who is the worst of creation, the one who's trying to take you to Jahannam, cannot force you to do something, then neither can a person. Then it is your job then to walk away. You don't have to listen to it. So that's a person's choice. That's in their choice. And if someone's backbiting, it's up to you to go. They can't control you unless, like I said, they grab you, they hold you, they put you against the wall. Say, listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying X, Y, and Z about this person, and you have to listen to it. Okay, then then you've been forced to do it. But generally speaking, someone's going to backbite you is someone who either knows you, or they like you, or they like discussing that with you. So all you have to do is say, look brother, look sister, I don't want to listen to this, I'm walking away, I'm going away. So you just walk away. And that in themselves is a reminder to that person. Yes, brother.
Just one clarification. Yesterday, I was joking with Brother Amir. I was trying to scare him and tell him that I had another private session upstairs.
Okay.
So obviously I was lying. Does that count?
So say that again. So you were joking to him, but you lied.
I was scaring him, telling him he had another session upstairs and he couldn't rest.
Right.
So does that count as a lie?
Yeah, it would, because you've even in your joke you shouldn't be lying. So we should look at the example of the Prophet ﷺ, that they would never, even when they would joke with someone, they wouldn't lie. Or how the Sahaba, would speak to the Prophet ﷺ. So even in your joking, there should be such a way where it's not, there should be truth in it.
Okay.
It's like, a lady once come to the Prophet ﷺ, and she said to the Prophet ﷺ that, will I enter Jannah? To the nearest meaning, paraphrasing. And the Prophet ﷺ said no. She got scared, she got frightened. How can I not enter Jannah? She got scared. She was thinking, why? And the Prophet ﷺ said to her, you won't enter old, you'll enter young. And that was an old woman. So do you see, even the Prophet ﷺ taught us how to joke. That she was an old woman that came, and the Prophet, she asked, will I enter Jannah? The Prophet said no. This is paraphrase, not the exact word. And then when she asked why, the Prophet said, because you won't enter old, you'll enter young. So the Prophet even taught us how to joke. So in this sort of manner we should joke. We should not even lie, even in a joke. Okay, I'm just being mindful of the time as well. So inshallah, I'm just going to quickly move on. Obviously afterwards as well, you can also, you can also ask afterwards as well. And another question, what if you're sat in a car, for example, and they're backbiting? So initial thing is, you should try to stop them, you should try to correct them, say, look, I really don't want to listen to this, I'm not interested in this, it has no concern to me. Give them reference to what harm backbiting causes to the person who's backbiting. Give them a reminder. Or if that doesn't work, and at least you've tried to do something, you try to ignore it, or you just stay quiet. With that, and hate it in the heart. Hate it in the heart that what they're saying, or try to distract the topic. Try to change it to something else. Try to talk about something good. Try to change it to, worldly things that are halal. Whatever you can do in your ability, try to do that. But if still the person is adamant and they won't stop, then hate it in your heart, have no like to it, and try to ignore what they're saying. That's the least. But inshallah, if you try the other techniques, is shouting a mistake, even if it's... This is the last question on the tongue sheet. Only reason why is because I've got the other sheets to go through and I'm mindful of the time. So inshallah, maybe in another session we can go into... So this is the last question I'm going to take regarding the tongue sheet. Is shouting a mistake, even if it's for the benefit? No, if it's not wrong what you're shouting and it's going to benefit the person, like you're disciplining a child or you're preventing them from harming themselves. Maybe there's the fireplace is there and your child's about to run into the fireplace and you go stop very loudly so the child stops. There's nothing wrong with that. But obviously if you're shouting, like for example, between spouses and you're arguing and it's getting heavy and you start screaming each other, then this is not correct. When you're causing harm, then it's not correct. Okay, so just moving on now, inshallah. So the prayer sheet. Okay, so So with the prayer sheet, so obviously we have the outward discipline of the intentionally missing salah with Jamaat without a valid Sharia excuse, intentionally missing salah, not perform sunnah muqaddar, not perform wudu properly according to sunnah, does not know the obligatory acts of prayer. So that's the outwardly, but there's also regarding the prayer some inward actions we had to do. Does anyone remember those? Zoom participants also can answer. So do you remember anything to do with the prayer? So what should we do for the prayer sheet? Can we show the sheet, please? Yeah, please.
Remember the 3 keys once in every posture.
Okay, so could you sort of explain to us in practice? So just say you're about to do prayer salah. How would you do it?
So say that again.
So how would you do it? So practically now, so how would you, so say you're about to start your salah, how would you now do it, how would you do this inward spiritual part of the prayer? So what would you do?
So during the first rakat, stop and think, Allah is with me, see me, hearing me.
Okay.
And then once in your ruku, and then when you stand up, and then once in every posture, somewhere in there.
Okay, mashallah. So the brother's mentioning that in each posture, so you probably, so before you start the salah, you should come into the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So okay, make intention, your intention for salah, so the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever the intention you need to make, whichever salah it is, wherever you're praying, and then obviously in the mind, and then, for the pleasure of Allah, and then you remember the 3 keys, Allah's watching me, Allah's with me, Allah's listening to me, and then after that, then you will do it in each posture like the brother mentioned. So Allah's watching me, Allah's with me, and how many times did you say we do it? Once. So for Zoom participants, how many times do we do it in the salah? In each posture, how many times do we remember the 3 keys? Just a question for the Zoom participants. Once, okay, mashallah. Just to make sure we're all on the same page. Okay, that's good. Okay, now just move it, and same process again. So if you've done it for the full salah, so you've thought of the 3 keys once in each posture for the full salah, tick, tick, tick. When you've forgotten, or you've not done it, you've come out of the presence of Allah and you put a cross and you start again, and you do that for 30 days, then you move on to the next level. Okay, and the final one is Ikhlas. So it mentions here level 1, in all major good deeds, e.g. 5 daily prayers, 1 zikrs, one should do them for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in order to attain salvation and reward in the hereafter. One should check and refresh his intent in the beginning, middle and the end. So any brother from this side, so Brother Zain, so the sincerity sheet, could you just reiterate that to me again, explain that again? So how we do the sincerity sheet? So just say for example salah, you're about to pray your salah. How would you apply the sincerity sheet in your salah?
Is it by correcting your intention through the beginning, middle and end of your salah?
MashaAllah. Okay, that's fine. And what about your dhikr? How would you do that?
So before you start your zikr, come into the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, correct your intention, and throughout correct your intention as well.
Okay, yes. So mashallah, so you do this, same again, so as the brother explained. So from the beginning you'd correct your intention that you're doing with the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in order to attain salvation and reward thereafter. And then obviously in the beginning, in the middle and in the end, then you'll continually doing this for 30 days. And this particular sheet won't only be done for 1 month, this will be done for 3 months. Because Ikhlas is something which needs to be firm, which needs to be solid. There's the hadith, innamal a'malu binniyat, it's longer, but actions are according to intentions. So you could come in the masjid, for example, you've come at tahajjud time, you've prayed 8 rakat, so you're praying the Laylatul Qadr amal, so you've come just generally after Isha and you're praying nafal after nafal after nafal, and people are looking and you're enjoying this, thinking, you know what, everyone's looking at me, people are, wow, look at this brother, look at this young brother, mashallah, look at this young brother, mashallah, he's a friend of Allah, and you're hearing this and you're thinking, I'm going to pray more nafal, more nafal, more nafal, you're enjoying it. That ibadat has been thrown out the window. So all that time you've spent praying be thrown out the window. Why? Because the intention wasn't correct. But then you might just come, pray maybe 2 nafal, but for the pleasure of Allah, with no one else here, that ibadat, that worship is more worthy and more great to Allah subhanahu than 8, 9 rakats you did. You could pray all night with the wrong intention, it'll have no weight. You could just wake up for Fajr, pray your 2 sunnats, for the pleasure of Allah, pray your 2 farz, and that will have more weight than you praying all night. So this is the importance of having the right intention. This is why you have to do it for 3 months, to make sure that it's solid, that it's firm in your mind and in your heart while you're doing your action. Okay, and then this is just a summary of it all. So just quickly to go over, so you've got your dhikr, your prescription, you can say the spiritual food to feed your soul. And then you've got the practical actions you've got to do. And the three different sheets you have to do. The sincerity sheet, the tongue and the prayer. So just a quick recap, inshallah. So inshallah, now we're just going to quickly go on to now the mentoring process. So now, as we mentioned, this is important. This is your food. This is what's going to help you get the closeness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we don't want to leave you on your own to this. Because shaitan, when he attacks, he doesn't attack on, he attacks with the army. So we want to make sure you've got an army, you've got people to support you, to help you to get through his attacks, so you can fight back. So, what is the job of the mentee? First of all, what is your role in mentorship? What do you need to do? First and foremost is make a firm intention to start the 5 fundamental practices for the pleasure and closeness of Allah. So you've got to make a clear intention that I'm going to start this journey now. I've sat here for 10 days in Itikaaf. I've put this effort in, but this is now a start to a new beginning. This is a start to a new life. So that firm intention that, right, I'm going to go, and these are the 5 fundamentals. The practice that I'm going to stick firm to these. This is like my bread and butter. You know, it's like going to university. If you don't have a pen, if you don't have paper, nowadays you don't have laptop, you don't have internet, you can't study. You're not going to go. Similarly, on this path to the closeness of Allah, these are your 5 fundamentals. You need them. You need them. So you have to make that firm intention, right, I'm going to start them. Okay? So that's what's required from you. Second thing which is required from you is that to report back to your mentor on a monthly basis as a minimum. So what's going to happen is you're going to have a mentor, I'm going to explain later on, but just specifically now is, because obviously generally speaking the sheets work on a 30-day basis. So generally if you've had no problems in between, then at the end of the month you'll update your mentor. Now this, as it's mentioned, to report back to your mentor on a monthly basis as a minimum. I mean, this is the least. You should, in fact, you can contact him more. So initially you might want to contact more because it's something new you're starting. You know, it's like when you start driving for the first time, you generally take more lessons, or you take a lot of lessons, or you need more lessons until towards the end it becomes second nature. So you don't really go as frequent. But at the beginning, people take a lot more lessons. Why? Because it's something new. It's a new technique you're learning. So that the mentor's there, he's there to help you. Initially, just to be that guide. Okay, if you're struggling with the amals, because one thing is, we've explained it to you, you understand, but then one thing is actually doing it practically. It's a different thing altogether. Like driving, you can read the book of driving, that okay, this is how you drive, this is how you turn the steering, this is how you put a handbrake up. But when you do it, it's very different. You know. So similarly, that mentor is going to be there for you to report back to. Okay, brother, I tried my zikr, I can only do 5 minutes. I can only do 10 minutes. Bro, what do I do? You know what? So they'll tell you, okay, try this, try that. So they'll help you until you get to a position where, okay, it might just go up to once a month, where you just need to update your sheets. So to report back to your mentor on a monthly basis, a minimum. Now this final point is very important. To report back regardless of any progress. And Ustad Shah, they also reinforced this, that by not reporting is worse than not doing anything and not reporting, because at least then you're going to get a solution to what the problem is. Whatever has caused you not to do your sheets, whatever has caused you not to do your amal, at least you're going to get a solution. But this is a trick of shaitan, that you think, oh, you know, I've not been doing my amals, I've not been doing anything, you know, I've just been in my own little world, I'm not going to go. Because what's going to happen? You're going to stay in that little world then. You're not going to come out of it. In fact, you're going to go deeper. Whereas when you go see the ustad, when you go see the mentor, and you tell him, look, I've been struggling with this, I've been struggling with my tongue sheet, you know, I'm struggling, I can't get 30 days. He's going to give you a solution. You know, when you're ill, when you've got a flu, you don't just sit at home with the flu. You know, you've got things to do, you've got work to go to. So you go to the doctor, you get a solution, you go. It's as simple as this. You don't say, oh, I've got a flu, I can't go to the doctor. I've got a flu, I can't go to the doctor. Well, how else are you going to get your solution? So one is reporting. So one is reporting to your mentor when you've finished the sheet, but more importantly is reporting to your mentor when you're struggling with the sheet, so you can carry on progressing. So like I said, to report back regardless of any. So even if you've not progressed, still report. Show him what's going on. But even if you don't want to just present yourself, that's sufficient. And believe me, it'll keep you going. it will keep you going. Somewhere or the other you will find your solution. It might not be in that sitting, it might not be in the setting, it might have been the 10th sitting, but you will find your solution. Someone's asked, when do we get our mentor? So inshallah, that's going to be discussed in this presentation. We're going to get onto that inshallah. Okay, so as a mentee, these three things are very important. And you got to see is that it's not your mentor's job to come to, it's your job to go to the mentor. That's something important. It's you the one who's seeking the closeness of Allah. It's you the one who wants salvation and paradise. So then it's your job to go to the mentor. It's your job to speak to him. It's your job to ring him. Yes, if you've not spoken to him for a while, he will give you a reminder. But really it's your job to ask and speak to him. Okay, so now the mentor's job. What will the mentor do? So what can you expect of the mentor? So to help and motivate you along your spiritual journey. So this path to the cross of, he's going to be there. You know, when you're having your pitfalls, see how you're going to help you, advise you, to be that motivation, that support, that personal support behind you. So you never feel like you're lost or you're on your own. To help and support you with any difficulties with the 5 fundamental practices. So specifically with these practices as well, so anything with these practices if you're struggling with, they'll give you solutions and help you with that. And to discuss and assess your progress. So to see where you're going, to look at that, to see how you're doing, what's going on. So this is your mentor. And now after this, so this is someone who'll be with you all the time. But after this, you'll also have the ustads who you can go to. So the senior ustads like you've met, you know, amongst Imam Qais, Ustad Shah. So these senior ustads, these teachers will also assess your sheets. So they'll give you permission to change your sheets. So once your sheets are done, you know, you'll show them, and even some mentors can change, but mainly those ustads, you'll go to them, they'll check your sheets and think, okay, I've done 30 days, okay, go next. So they'll give you ijazat. So the dhikr needs to be changed, they'll give the permission. Provide feedback for your spiritual experiences. So anything spiritual you have experiences, it'll be these same ustads who will give you feedback on them also. And finally, provide solutions for any specific difficulties which mentors cannot help with. So maybe, you know, it's not just your 5 fundamental practices that you're struggling with. Maybe there's 7 major obstacles. Maybe there's financial problems. Maybe there's emotional problems. Maybe there's family problems. You know, maybe there's addiction problems. Maybe you're in a bad company. Maybe you're struggling to deal with these people. So they're there to help to remove these blockages as well. And also you can speak to your mentors about this as well. So there you go. So you got the mentee yourself, the mentors, and then finally the reports will go back to your ustads and they'll tell you if you can change your sheets, etc., your dhikrs, and they'll give you your feedback for your spiritual experience. Now, what I require of you, this is the part where you need to pull your phone out. So this is specifically for the brothers. Now for the sisters, to answer your question, is there's a specific sisters team. They also have a system which they're going to send a message out, an email out, and most likely it'll either be done by the end of the Itikaaf or maybe a day after, but within these next 2 days you'll be definitely getting a message, specifically the sisters, this is from the sisters team, that who your mentor is, who your contact with, the contact is, so either by message, WhatsApp or email. Now for the brothers, this is specifically for the brothers now, so I need you to get your mobile phone out. So what I need you to do now, for the mentorship, to register. So what I need you to do is this website, propheticpath.co.uk. I need you to go on this website. So if you just click on it, inshallah it should come up. Okay, so this is the website, and for the brothers, I just want you to go and join here. Yeah, so you just got to click on this. Now even if you've got a mentor, I still want you to come in here, because what we can do is we can have everyone on one system. So even if you've got a mentor, it'll come on there as well, who your mentor is. So you won't get allocated, but we'll know that you've got a mentor. So at least we know that you're in the system, we know you're there, we know that you've got someone supporting you. Sorry, I'll just go back one second. Go back. It's propheticpath.co.uk. Yeah. So what you do is, then you'll click on the brothers join here. So this is for the brothers online as well. So the brothers online, the links are there for you. So you can click on this and you can also join. Yeah, so then you'll go on to brothers join here. Okay. Can you not see on the screen? It says on the top, it'll be on the top, brothers join here, this bit here. Not sisters, yeah. I'm sure we're all brothers here, mashallah. So don't be clicking on the sisters one by accident. It might be, if it's not at the top, then it'll be right at the bottom. If it's not on the top, then go right to the bottom. Yeah, so what to do is then go right to the bottom. So if you carry on right to the bottom, it'll be there. Yeah, is it not? So carry on going up. Inshallah. Yeah. I just want to show him Brother Majid, yeah? Yeah, so that's the one. So here, so it says register for a free one-to-one mentor, this one here. So once you've done that, just, so once you've clicked on this, so I'm sure have you all found that, yeah? It's sorted, yeah? So now go on to Podio as well, the sheet, this is the sheet you're going to get now, yeah? So all you need to do is fill in this sheet, first name, so everything, so try to be as honest as possible. And if you've got a mentor, also state that here, your preferred language and even your hobbies, put it in. So what we can do is, and that'll help us when it comes to matching. So if someone has a mentor has the same hobbies, at least you have something to relate to as well. And then all you got to do then is just press submit. And then that will come on our database then we've got you there. So once you've done that, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes just to quickly do that. And inshallah, we're going to carry on. So this, brothers on Zoom as well, yourselves can, you do this right now, inshallah, and then once it's done, just, the brothers on Zoom, once you've done it, please just say done, or just put a confirmation that yes, it's done. Yeah, no problem, inshallah. So much, I think. Oh. No, so for the sisters, it's a complete separate system. So as of yet, you don't need to use the website yet. They have a different shot. They will be using it soon. But at the moment, they've got a separate system. So don't worry from the sister side. Inshallah, they're very, very good, the sisters, with the way they do their mentoring as well, mashallah. It's a very sophisticated way and very beneficial and fruitful way. So you'll see in the next day, either today or tomorrow, you'll be getting either an email and a WhatsApp message with your mentor, and you'll get more details also from the sisters. So inshallah, I know the sisters are also in a WhatsApp group. You'll be getting more details about that in the WhatsApp group. So inshallah, no need to worry, inshallah, the sisters will update you themselves. Okay, so now once you've done that, what's going to happen? So once you've registered, okay, so you're going to get a call from the team. So one of the brothers from the team will call you to make sure that, just to confirm that, alhamdulillah, okay, you've registered, for the course, you know what to do, just to make sure that the 5 amals, you know what to do, you're going to be assigned a mentor. So you're 100% sure what you've signed up for. So we're 100% sure that because even if, for example, now, because it's been 10 days, maybe you've not understood the 5 amals properly, you might need explaining again. So then, even now, the brothers here, they'll explain it to you again. So they'll give you time, maybe not there and then on the call, but they'll give you time over Zoom, maybe to go over this again with you. So you might need some things clearing, maybe, on the spiritual journey, you didn't understand that, you might need someone to clear that with you. So this is just like a consultation you'll get initially. You'll get a call from someone, and they'll speak to you to make sure that you're 100%, that you're aware of what you need to do, what your requirements are, what's required of you, what you require of your mentor. So we're clear, and then once that's done, once you're okay, we know you're 100%, you want to carry on, you want to start the path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know what you got to do, then you'll get assigned a mentor. Then you'll be assigned a mentor, and like I mentioned, then from then onwards, you'll stay in relationship with the mentor. And then also there'll be other system brothers who will make sure that you're getting mentored, that everything is going fine, that there's basically no disconnection between you and your mentor. So any of these issues, there's also someone there to resolve them for you as well. Okay, so now, further on, after this, what do you do? What have we got? We don't just have this Itikaaf. So we have a weekly Thursday and Friday gatherings which you can attend. So the Thursday ones are specifically for the people who've started the spiritual journey, you know, the Muraqabah Miraj, the different lataifs and the spiritual transfer. So that's specifically for that, and this is on Zoom. So obviously inshallah when everything opens up again, it'll be in the masjids as well. We have different centres in and around UK as well, in Manchester, in Bolton, in Oldham, in Hyde, in Nelson, in different areas, also in London as well, alhamdulillah, the centres, and in Birmingham. Okay, so that's weekly, and the Friday gathering, this is like general nasiha and dhikr. So this is a gathering as well for it's a general nasiha and dhikr to keep you motivated, to keep you strong. Okay, and then we also have a Facebook Prophetic Path group where there's, you know, different motivational reminders there. You can comment, you can share. It's like, you can say, it's the online community. So you can connect with not just the people locally, but the people internationally as well. See what's going on there. See that you can share what struggles you're having. And you can share what's going on, your experiences, how you're doing well. It's an international community for you there as well. And then we've got the Tareeqah Muhammadiyah website on YouTube page, the Tareeqah Muhammadiyah channel on YouTube. This is where, if you can't come to majlises, then you can keep in contact through here. So the majlises, you can visit here, it'll be live on YouTube. If there's previous discourses there, for example, like this Itikaaf, if you want to catch up with it, then you can go on there. All of this, all the sessions are on there. So if you want to follow up again, you can go watch them again. And then we've got the Tareeqah Muhammadiyah website, which has different links on there. Basic Aqidah, Basic Fiqh. Also there you'll get daily updates. So that's a website there which you can also go on to on the internet. And then there's a Sisters and Brothers WhatsApp group, just to keep you updated with retreats, just motivation again. You know, if there's anything you want to ask regarding, you know, tazkiyah, any of these things, you can get your answers, you can get your questions answered. And then finally, there's an Ibreeze Ascension group. Now this one is where you put your feedback up. So once you've signed up for your mentorship, you've got your mentor, you'll also be added to the Ibreeze Ascension group as well. Now this group is where you'll put your feedback. So like how now you've been giving your feedback to those stars, so there's a specific group for that. So where, for example, you've had your experience, then as soon as you do that, you'll just type it up. And you'll just put it in that group, and all those stars are there as well, and they will answer and give you your feedback there. Obviously, if something private, something, you know, you can't really put publicly, then that's different. Then through your mentor, you can discuss that and arrange a meeting with those stars, a one-to-one. But if it's just general, then, you know, you can just post it up there. So someone asked, so sisters do not need to go on the website if they already have a mentor. Yeah, you don't need to go on the website. Sisters do not need to go on the website, regardless if they have or have not a mentor. They'll be contacted separately from the sisters team, inshallah. And then finally, this is just showing you, if you want to stay connected through different avenues. You know, if something just casually you want to come motivational, but if you're someone who's a bit more serious, someone a bit more academic, then, you know, we have also WISE, like UK Academy of Islamic Sciences, where we learn about Aqidah, Fiqh. If you want to learn that in more detail, if you want to formally learn that properly with an ustad, we have classes for this. If you want to learn Tazkiyah more formally, you know, we have classes for this, Seerah, Hadith. You know, if you want to broaden your knowledge, you want to, you know, learn more, then this is avenue. Then we have spiritual ascension program, retreats just for the spiritual ascension. So you had a taster here. We have different angels retreats, how to connect with the angels, the, you know, Sirah and Shamal retreats, how to connect the Prophet ﷺ through the ascensions. We have different programs like this. We have Wise Life Academy, where there's little day-to-day short courses. You had a taster of this, where you know, how to forgive people. There was one course on how to forgive people, one session. So there's more sessions on how to deal with depression, addictions, a wide range of things. Then you've got the free healing program. So if you're suffering from any like jinnat, black magic, these sort of possession or anything like this, or even just normal physical illness. So, and then you've got the Bag Welfare Trust, where if you want to give, if you want to help people financially, you know, through finances, then we have the Bag Welfare Trust, different projects working as well. So this is just showing different avenues as well where you can stay connected. So it's not just through the majlises, we have many different ways you can be connected, and this will be regularly posted on the different groups through your mentors as well. You get regular messages on this. And then finally, if you want something like this set up in your locality, wherever you are, in the UK, internationally, whatever country you're in, a spiritual ascensions program, you know, you want to set up Jamia, you want to set up Wise Life, some courses of Wise Life Academy, the healing, then these are the people you need to contact. So you've got the email address dawah@zawiya.org, that's for the brothers, and there's a mobile number there as well. And then there's sisters inquiries, so that's panelretreat@gmail.com, and there's a mobile number there for the sisters. So if you want anything like this, similar to what you got in the Itikaaf, these different programs in your area, or even if not a program like this, you just want some sort of nasiyah majlis or some sort of program, we can come, assess what the need is, and we can tailor something for your area. So whatever, if it's just a program, just a majlis, just a speech, just a bayan, whatever it is, in a house, in a zawiyah, in a center, in a masjid, however it is, contact them, and then inshallah, we'll try to follow up, and whatever we can provide in the area, we will. So inshallah, that's the mentoring there done. If anyone has any further questions, because I'm just careful of the time as well, that I'll be here inshallah until Maghrib time, so you can ask anything specific to myself. There's a number there, you can message there, you've got the email there, you can email also. So Jazakallah for your time. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
Jazakallah khair for Ustad Siraj for brief but very important session. Obviously I know that we are all now anticipating we're going to be finishing the Itikaaf soon, and Eid is coming, and our mind was probably getting diverted to that. But remember, we've spent so many days on this, just keep going until at least, I say Maghrib, because as soon as Maghrib comes, the shaitan's going to be attacking you. He'll be attacking you tonight, saying forget about the zikr majlis tonight, forget about even focus as much as possible. For the online participants, they will have seen a link for a survey. We kindly request if you could at least complete that. It is obviously to benefit this retreat in terms of that we can improve going forward next year the experience for the online participants. And for the physical participants, you will also be getting a link soon inshallah regarding the survey. So please be frank, please fill it in properly so we can benefit others, because we've sat the retreat this year and the Itikaaf, and inshallah there will be more people next year, and our aim is to obviously improve the experience, and that applies obviously to the physical participants. Whatever comments you have, positive or negative, by all means don't be shy. If you think there should be more pizza, then please do say so in that regard. The next session is at 8 p.m. so people can now rest and obviously be ready for that. If the physical participant just stay sat down, there's a separate message once we've closed off the Zoom session. So just for the Zoom session participants, if they can now obviously do their sir and rest, and join us back at 8 o'clock for again what will be another important session, then they will benefit themselves. So I will say Jazakallah khair to the Zoom participants. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alayka ya Rasulullah.